so much for having me on.
I'm so excited to have you. It's such an honor. And not only are you coming in between clients tonight, she's rushing over here to be with us tonight on the Hollywood Vibes Sports and Life show. So we are very honored. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, thanks so much.
Yay. So these guys are providing a great facility for us at Bully Steakhouse. So you guys got to come down and check it out. We are actually holding the NFL Alumni San Diego chapter meeting tonight here with President Craig McEwen of the NFL Alumni San Diego chapter. And we also have a representative coming in from all the way from home office as well, Chrissy. So she's going to be here on the show as well. And we got a few other special guests. So tell me, I'm a psychologist. Is that
right? I am, and I'm also a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Okay. And how long have you been practicing for?
Oh, I've been doing this since about 2002.
Okay.
And been in private practice myself since 2007.
Okay.
So going on 10 years, and now we're building and expanding the practice. I'm really thrilled with what's going on lately.
That's great. And you're based out of here?
Yes, I'm literally about 4 buildings away in Mission Valley.
That was no coincidence at all.
That's right.
So tell me, how did you get into this profession, Dr. Mullen?
That's a fun one. I had my own experiences when I was a kid with therapy, and I had a bad experience at 13, and then I had an experience that I believe saved my life at 17. And I thought at that time, you know, if I could do that for somebody else, it would that would be a great way to spend my days. Yeah. And so that was my motivation. I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I had to kind of build myself up to have the confidence to go to school for all of this. And I did that in my later 20s. Yeah. But it's been the best thing ever. I love what I do. I love the people that I get to work with every day. And I love training the new generation of therapists, because that's part of what my practice does, is I take on interns and help them build their practices under mine.
Yeah, well, it's so rewarding being in that industry. I grew up as well, and chaos is a great word, because chaos is what I was used to. And, you know, my parents did their best, but unfortunately it was what it was. And, you know, it pushed me to go into life coaching and go into being a clinical counselor as well, and specializing in addictions and mental health as well. So, yes, I know. I was going to shock you. Yes, when I read your bio, I was very impressed. But
bringing it on.
Yeah, right? That was actually, I wanted to wait to share that with you. So the thing that I love about it is that you have your own experience, and now you can come to, you know, whoever it is or whatever they're going through, their struggles, and help them because you understand and you connect with it. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because people see that you're a real human being and you understand and you're compassionate and empathetic. You know, you have to, you know, cut the boundary off as well.
Well, and that's the thing. For as much as I do relate, and yes, I came from a chaotic background and have my own story of hardship as a kid and a teenager and a young adult and all that stuff, my clients don't actually know that unless they see the stuff that I do on the internet. But in session with them, I believe it just makes me better able to connect with them. They get that I understand what they're feeling, but they don't understand why. So hopefully they just think I'm really good at what I do.
Well, hopefully you didn't get busted here on the Hollywood Vibes Sports and Life show.
Most of my life story is out on different podcasts and things.
No, but that's great, because it makes us real. You know, we have our own things that we go through. And I mean, you've been practicing for quite some time, so you must have, you know, a lot of different things, and obviously patient confidentiality. So we won't talk about a lot of those things, but you know, you've got a podcast, you've got Coaching Through Chaos. Tell me a little bit about those things.
Right. So Coaching Through Chaos is the actual private practice. It's the name of my therapy practice. And it also is the name of my podcast, but they are two separate kinds of things. Most of my clients aren't even aware of the podcast. But so Coaching Through Chaos, the name actually came about through my doctorate work in chaos theory. And for as much as I relate to chaos, and most people do, when I learned about chaos theory, I learned about an idea called the strange attractor. And this grew out of my work when I was running a large drug rehab here in San Diego while I was studying. And I took an idea from chaos theory, the strange attractor, and applied it as a way of mapping people through change. Because what it says, especially if you have an addiction counseling background, you know, what we know about families and addictions is that families will revolve around a certain idea. And in dysfunctional families, it's addiction, it's abuse, it's emotional, dysfunction. In high achieving families, it's about achievement. It's about, status. It's about education might be something that a family orients themselves around. And we know that they'll do that for about at least three generations back through when they study them.
Yeah.
And so what this idea is that when people are going through this process of change, what I saw happen is that the family would start. I was the director of this program, and the family would call me up after somebody was mainly a program for men. So the women they were connected to would call me up and say, "Hey, can they come home for longer on their pass? Can they stay overnight? Can they do this? Can they do that? Because we need them functioning." Now, these were people that were not functioning for the greater part of their adult life and ended up in this rehab. And I say that because that is who the clients were. I mean, some people get addictions and they go right into rehab. A lot of people spend 20 years in addiction before there's a lot of help.
Yeah.
And what I saw happen is the family was pulling them back. They said, we want the best for them, but they would do things to sabotage. That's the idea in chaos theory, is that you get pulled back towards the strange attractor. And in this case, it's the addiction stuff. And so I use this concept as a way of mapping the person through change so that they would understand there's going to be a point in change where it gets super uncomfortable. It's actually called the chaotic transitory period. And it's this point of time that's probably about between 6 months literally to about 2 years, depending on the influences that are in their life, where it gets very uncomfortable and they're trying out their sobriety. They're starting to learn how to live again without the addiction in their life. And the family pulls against them. So this is to help them ride through that transition period and then come to the other side. And when they get to the other side of that, their behaviors will be different. Their family system will be different. And if the family did the work along with them, they will change with them, and it can be positive. A lot of times what happens is the family doesn't do the work, or the significant others don't do the work, and they have to find a new way of interacting with them. And sometimes things don't go well, but that person, though, has saved their own life and gotten out of their addiction. And now they can learn to work within their own healthy boundaries with that family system. There's a divorce rate in addictions. In the first year of recovery, there's a divorce rate of something like 67%, and which is like the general divorce rate, but it spikes at that for the first year of recovery, because so many times the partner doesn't do the work along with the one who has the addiction. And a person who loves an addict also needs help to learn how to love that person when they are healthy, so that they're not always looking for someone to take care of. So that's what that's all based on. And then picking it as my business name, was kind of a really nice fluke, because I get calls all the time and people say, "Oh my gosh, I have chaos in my life and I need your help." So that's been kind of a icing on the cake of my love of chaos theories translated to a good business.
It's clever. I love it. And it makes so much sense, because there's chaos in all areas of our lives, whether it's relationships or addictions or mental health or, whatever we're struggling with. I would like to know, in your professional opinion, what if you think that people that are suffering from addictions, whether it's drugs, alcohol, pills or things like that, do you believe that people can come out of their addictions without doing a 12-step program or without going to treatment?
Well, there's a standard in addiction work that says a third of people get better with help, a third of people get better without help, and a third of people never get better. And so the way that I work with clients is what's called the harm reduction model. And that means you're helping them get to the lesser of the evils that are in their life, I suppose. So if you've got someone doing, oxy or other opiates, and they smoke pot, get them to drop the opiates, and then you can work on getting them to drop the pot. But there are definitely people that are going to say, no, you have to do all of it. And yes, I truly believe that when people have problems with drugs and alcohol, they need to clear their life of all of it. But I have the I'll say the freedom and the privilege of working with these people individually to go, okay, well, if you're not ready for this, like, let's help you save your life here.
Yeah.
And then we can work on getting rid of the other stuff and kind of work with them where they're at so that they don't run away. And I mean, there's such a high relapse rate, you know, like, why not take someone when they say, like, I just need to get off of this, I don't want to deal with the rest of it. Why not just help them with that?
Absolutely.
And then they can, like, figure their life out. And if their life involves other substances, that's on them if they don't want to give it up. But you look at the quality of life. I look at a person's quality of life and I say, well, where do you want your life to be? And if they say, I want it to look like, roses and, sunshine, then we have to look at, well, what is stopping that from happening? You know, if you want to be high achieving, is staying addicted to something really going to help you do that? For the most part, it's not.
Absolutely.
So I practice harm reduction. I do encourage people to get involved in some type of recovery group, support group, strictly for the support. Like, I don't, the 12 steps is a wonderful place for people. And what really helps people through that is the support that they find in people who have also been there, done that, and are now sober.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So I tell people, sometimes I try and sell them on, like, go to like 5 different meetings you can find around, whether it's AA, whether it's Smart Recovery, or any other number of groups that are out there, and see what works for you, see where you feel comfortable, but look for people that you can relate to, because those are the people you just need to make new connections where you leave the addiction stuff behind.
Yeah. And what I love about that too is that it's, being relatable to other people, but people that you want to emulate to be, that are successful, that are doing well and getting through the program. So say, it's, as they call it in the program, a sponsor or something like that, somebody that they trust, that they can buddy up with and go, okay, great, this person I trust. And I, whether it's, you want to have a great home life and a great marriage, and they have that, you want to always look up to the winners and people that are succeeding. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's such a great thing. I mean, people that are going through this, it's just providing hope. And that's what I wanted this segment to be about as well. So people that are struggling, are there 3, significant things that you would say? Because I know there's people out there right now, and God bless you guys, who are struggling, whether it's alcoholism or drug addiction or anything. What I would like for Dr. Colleen Mullen, because she's a specialist in this area, to give her words of wisdom. So if you guys or whoever's listening or watching out there, that, you can get through this, and there is, help and support. So maybe the top 3 things that you would recommend to somebody struggling right now, getting unstuck.
All right. Well, if we're talking about the addiction arena, then I'm going to say, open your mouth and talk about it, and say, this is tough. I have a hard time dealing with things, and I need some support.
Yeah.
And then call someone, whether you have someone in your home, a significant other, or a family member, or you need to reach out among your friends, because it might be scary or intimidating to reach out right away and go to a meeting, but you might get a friend that says, hey, I'll take you. And there's a lot of meetings out there that are what's called open meetings, and anybody can go to. So talk about it, reach out for help, and then the mindset needs to change, and the mindset needs to say, you know what, I'm going to do my best tomorrow to wake up and not be an addict. If I wake up today and I'm not an addict, people are going to think I'm simplifying things, and I'm not. This is a terrible struggle, but a lot of things have to do with mindset, and you've got to be ready, and you've got to say, no matter what happens today, just one day at a time. I just won't do it today. It doesn't matter what you do tomorrow. It doesn't matter what you're going to do 5 years from now. Like, a lot of my clients come in and they'll say, well, I only want to do this for 6 months. I just want to clean myself up for 6 months. And I'll say, like, let's just clean you up today.
Yes.
And
Baby
let's
steps.
work on today. I don't care what 6 months from now looks like. And and frankly, I don't want you to worry about what 6 years looks like from now.
Because that's fear too, you know, because they're setting a benchmark and saying, basically, I'm going to fail because I only want to do this amount of time. It's like saying I want to be healthy and fit or in great physical shape for 6 months of my life. Yeah. It's just, it doesn't make sense. But when they're in it,
that when they're in it, they will continue on it. right?
Yes.
When the mindset is there and they see the results of what they're doing, they stick with it.
Yeah.
And then it's like in that period, you're working on how do I stop the obstacles that get in my way from getting in the way 6 months from now, right? So that you don't go out and have a party and eat the whole cake and gain 5 pounds that night.
And I'm guilty of that quite a few times in my life. I'm not going to lie.
The whole room is, but so that's what it is. Staying present in the moment, just taking one day at a time. I mean, it's old, but it works.
Yeah. The one thing too about life coaching is, in all areas of, the chaos and struggles and things like that for people, as I really found, is the same thing that's applied is that, just for today. So if we didn't get through today, tomorrow's a new day, and just restart and reset and reevaluate and, change. It's that mind shift. And, and that's the biggest thing. It's okay, because what happened yesterday is gone and what happens today is new.
That's right. And that is a lot of what I work with my clients, because I see people for all sorts of reasons, whether it's, addictions, high conflict relationships, lots of trauma, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. Yeah. And I'm having conversations all the time with my clients about, let's just focus in on today. What do you need to do to make today a little bit easier on you? Yeah. What do you need to do to tend to your needs, or to be mindful of, why these thoughts are coming into play? Yeah. Kind of stop and breathe and notice what's going on for you so that you can figure it out.
I love that. So let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Let's go into marriage now that we have such a high success rate of divorce, right? One area I have not been successful in, but so, maybe I'll learn a few things here. But the thing is with marriage, even we saw a truck outside, it said quick divorce on a minivan. Yes. Are you kidding me? I mean, that is really sad, actually, because, people are just not giving things a chance anymore, I find. And so you must have this. Do you find that because, the myth of going to a counselor, a psychologist, or a therapist, more men are opted not to want to come to marriage counseling, or women, or is it the same? Percentage wise?
It's interesting. Men in general, my practice at times is filled with men like 35 to 55 years old. I've got a therapist working for me. His whole clientele is geared towards, his work is geared towards men like young adulthood to about 30. Yeah. So men do show up and self-select and present themselves in therapy. The relationship stuff, I can say, like, over the years, it probably just kind of balances out and evens out, that sometimes it's the guy saying, like, look, I don't want to have the same argument over and over again. Let's get some help. Other times it's the woman saying, like, let's do it. Okay. And I see same-sex couples as well. So you get the dynamic. It's usually, all I can say is usually one person wants it more than the other. Yeah. How it works out usually has to do more with where that person comes from and the baggage that they're carrying around and how it's influencing the relationship.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about this topic because, being, close to my heart, and also because we're seeing this more now. It's kind of the women are becoming very powerful, and, women are excelling in their careers and, starting to make a little bit more money more than they used to make, and things like that. So what about the polarity aspect? So, this is a big thing that I've seen through life coaching as well. And so for me, it was, when unfortunately the man is not able to be in that role, that dominant role, and then the woman steps over top and becomes more dominant and then more in the male role. How do you deal with a situation like that?
Right. Talk about it. Yeah. Communication is the biggest thing. I actually personally know several couples where there's a stay-at-home dad in the house, and the wife is out, or the partner is out working, and the most successful couples in those dynamics communicate about those roles. And people and I think a very important thing is for people to understand what their role is in the relationship. Okay. So it may not be about who's going out and making more money or who's staying home and who's working. It may be about understanding just the power dynamics in the relationship, who does what around the house, what chores, what bills, different things. And so it's really just communicating about the roles is what really kind of keeps couples being successful in that regard.
Okay. And are there tools and tips for marriages or even just family dynamics? Because you probably see stuff like that, family relationships, where we can apply something to these people to help them. So it's, whether they do homework, write out a list of gratitude, or, I mean, what are some of the things that make a couple successful so that they can get through, a marriage that's, about to fail?
Right. So, and those are the people who I specialize in with the high conflict couples,
Okay.
the ones who are just on the brink of calling it quits. They'll come in. And the thing is, I like to put out that couples come to therapy on average 7 years after the problem presents itself. So a lot of marriages these days don't even make it that long. So because the problems start and people don't intervene on them, or they go, oh my gosh, I did the same thing that I always do in a relationship, and they just get out and call it quits. So, so two things that I'll say, it goes hand in hand. A lot of times there's emotional reactivity, and it comes in the way of feeling like they're being criticized by one partner. And when you have a critical partner, you have a defensive partner, and you can't shake one without the other. And so you need to, I help couples learn how to get rid of the defensive criticisms, the criticism and defensive cycle. Because there's other things that leads to, which is very high risk behavior for affairs, for divorce. And that's, and what that is contempt. And when a person feels like they just don't care anymore what their partner says or does, that's when the relationship is really at risk of having disastrous things happen within it. So, and that usually comes with a long pattern of feeling criticized and being defensive. Now, how that gets untangled is through the therapy process. We look at what they bring to the table, what they learned, what their parents modeled for them, what their other relationship experience has been, and what their core concept of themselves is, so that we can kind of intervene, because a lot of times what they're perceiving as critical is not quite as bad as they think it is. And in the cases where you have a critical partner, because we all know that they are out there, there are people that say, well, you just need to know this about you. And anytime somebody says that to you, you should know this. You go back away and say, like, look, there must be a different way to present this to me, you know? And so, so when the person is really critical, then I help coach them on how to frame things differently to their partner, so that they aren't met with a barrage of, defensiveness.
Boom, explosiveness. Exactly. Right. Okay, so is it a myth or is it true? If you do the same things in one relationship to the next, you carry it. Are you bringing it to the next relationship?
You are. If you haven't intervened on it and stopped to look at why something continues to happen, of course it's going to present itself, because what you're going to attract is the same people. So you have to really look and say, what am I attracted to in this person? You have to take a lot of time to get to know them. There might be fireworks going off in the beginning, but you have to see past that. You have to go, well, who is this person? Are they someone that gels with my values in life, with how I like to treat other people, with how I think of the world? Do we have that in common, and get to know each other? Because what happens is people will usually go with what is most attractive to them. And I don't even mean physical. I mean emotionally attractive. We get bonded and pulled towards other people, and we don't know why. We just think we're compelled to be around these people. And usually when that happens in the immediate beginning of a connection with someone, you're usually attracted to something that's tapping into your unconscious. It's usually a familiarity that either they have a big boisterous personality, or they're safe, or they're any number of things that might be familiar to that particular person to be attracted to. So they go and they might say, oh, well, I like you work in the physical fitness, business. So you might go, oh, well, I'm always really attracted to men who take super good care of their bodies and blah, blah, blah. But there's some trait about that. So for you, it might be the ambition and the dedication to goals, and the resiliency that they show every day when they get up and do the same thing to kind of keep themselves maintained and live the life that they do. So, but that's just a bunch of traits. You have to get to know the person. And the person may tap into all sorts of other things that you don't find out, because we go in with the blinders
Oh,
and
yes.
say this is who they must be because this is what I know guys like that to be.
Those darn blinders, they get you every
Right.
time, don't they?
Take 'em off.
Right? I know. It's like, no, no.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That
and
makes
I have
a
to
lot
say,
of sense.
everybody has done it. Everybody's walked into the wall and gone, "Oh my God, how did I get with this person?"
Yeah.
At some
Yeah.
point, we've all been there. It's just a matter of how many times you want to keep going there.
Exactly.
And then it's really taking dedication to yourself to kind of look at and explore and heal what's going on for you that you might keep walking into things with dysfunctional partners or and I see both sides of the gender thing with people who want to take care of others. So I see
the caretaker.
We think a lot of times that the women are the nurturers and the caretakers, but I definitely have seen and met with lots of men who have the broken bird syndrome too. They want to go and repair the little wing and send them off, and then they can't get over how dysfunctional the person is, and they're like, how come this is happening? I'm like, well, because you can't fix someone.
Exactly.
So,
you can't fix everyone. And Dr. Colleen Mullen, I know that you've worked, helping some of the NFL guys and NFL alumni guys with, stuff with the concussions and things like that. And, we talked a little bit about that when we got to share some time together at the Super Bowl this year in La Jolla. And tell me a little bit about that.
Well, that's actually very new. What I'd say is I've gotten associated with the NFL alumni, but I have a history of working with people with trauma.
Yes.
So that is, and with addiction usually comes trauma.
Of course.
So they kind of go hand in hand. That's why my specialties are the addiction, the conflict, the depression, the anxiety, because they all kind of go hand in hand.
Exactly.
And you don't usually find one without three of the others.
Yeah, and the PTSD as well. That's
the
something.
Trauma, right? Post-traumatic stress.
Yep.
So I've worked. A lot of that work has been with military couples.
Okay.
Where someone has gone through a lot of trauma, and you have to help the person overcome that. And then, of course, for 10 years of my career before I was in private practice, or first up to 10 years, I worked almost exclusively with foster kids. So it's nothing but traumatized little people trying to have a better life and trying to figure out how they're going to save themselves or be loved or come up with an idea of that they're worth something. And so I worked with a lot of those kids along the way too. So I have this interest in it, and I definitely am looking forward to getting more involved with the NFL Alumni Association to actually provide some services to I'll say the people in need, because with the traumatized guys with the head trauma, there is lots of partners there living with the reactions that they're having.
Exactly. And we had talked about that, getting more familiar and introducing you to, the gentlemen and stuff that have gone through those, traumatic brain injuries and things like that. And which, in turn can lead to the anxiety and the stress and the depression and, onset dementia and things like that. So tell me your most rewarding, case that you've ever worked on.
Okay. There's a woman, she always stands out, and I guess I worked with her for about a year. I was what's called the team lead on this community-based treatment team, where we went out to the community, and we had about 50 people on our caseload that were, we'll say, some of the most mentally ill people in San Diego that had been long-term. To be in the program, they had to be in a long-term hospital for at least 15 years. And then, of course, a long time ago now, they got away with a lot of those hospitals. So then they needed to have providers that were going to help them in the community. And I worked with this woman, and she was schizophrenic, and it was really about helping her maintain her life outside of a hospital. And the team was a psychiatrist, a couple of therapists, a life skills person. And so I would take a couple of the clients shopping with me for their supplies, because we would help them get their hygiene supplies and things like that. And a moment that stands out is that I took this woman to help me buy supplies at Walmart or Target, and we had the shopping cart full of stuff. And I always say, hey, you can go pick out a treat for yourself, for helping me out. You did a great job today. Go get something for yourself, a little treat. And the woman went up the aisle with all the little individual snacks, and she's staring at it, and she gets lost there for 10 minutes. And I'm with another client at the time too, who was also schizophrenic and as ill as this woman was. And I was like, hey, what do you think's up with her? You think she's okay? She's like, well, let's go check on her. So we did, and I said, hey, like, can I help you pick something out? Like, what's going on? And she looked at me, and she was just like, she's like, I never thought I'd be able to pick out my own food again. And I'm just like, I mean, how do you not like go home that day and and be grateful for the life that you have and the facilities that you have to not need that kind of help. And so she stands out always. I will never forget her. And then there's a young woman who's a mother. I worked with her for a few years, and she worked her through being in an abusive marriage that is no longer abusive. And so that's like, so kind of getting her to a point where she's able to assert herself, set different boundaries. And then most importantly, the husband went and said, oh yeah, you're right, I shouldn't do that to you anymore.
Wow.
And so working with those clients, of course, again, it's just like, I don't know if there's better work out there to kind of make a person feel grateful for their own life at that point, where they can go home and feel safe and feel loved and go, wow, like that person's living a better life because of the things that she worked through in our sessions. Yeah. It's just amazing. So, so those are a couple of the stories that really have touched me.
Yeah. And that's amazing. And that's why you do what you do. You've been very well recognized in a few different things. Tell us about those.
So, so I had this opportunity to be featured. The work that I do with addicted executives was featured on Fortune.com a couple of years ago. And I was just so excited to be part of that article and to have my business featured in that way. And then I write, I write blogs that get put on Psych Central. Okay. I'm a contributor on Everyday Power blog. Yeah. And it's a motivational site that has a big following. So I'm always thrilled when people want to take my written word and put it somewhere on their site and kind of say people can benefit from this. So I have those projects out there, and if
congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So what are some of the hottest topics that people want to know about these days?
Oh, people always want to know if their sex life is normal. So
what is normal anyway?
We don't need to go into details on that, but people always say, like, we do it this many times. Is that like what other couples do? And I'm like, well, does it work for you? Because if it does, then that's okay.
Is there a standard normal, by the way?
And there really isn't. It's what works for both people. Yeah. So that's kind of a common question when couples start kind of approaching, because we have to talk about their sex life and their intimacy and stuff. So they all want to know if they're normal. I'm like, well, if you guys both like what you're doing, then it's pretty normal. So
that's funny. And what are some of the biggest problems in relationships, do you find?
It's the communication, and it's usually the tone of the communication and the way people are saying things to them. Yeah. It's usually not
delivery.
Yeah, it's delivery. It's usually not about actually complaining about their partner or saying bad things about them. It's usually about that critical tone, like, or perceiving. Its perceptions get in the way, right?
Oh yeah, so, I can agree. I actually, so that's a great topic, because I've been, in that situation a few times, and I've been on the receiving end of it, feeling that I'm being criticized or the delivery is very harsh. And I'm a pretty sensitive little human being. So for me, being pushed into that corner, so to speak, and being felt like you're kind of always just being grounded on. And it's just like, you get to the point where, like you said, shutting down.
Yes.
So how do you get through something like that? I know we talked a little bit earlier, but any information on that so that we can kind of get through that? Because I have actually come across that quite a few times.
Sure. So an easy tip, and I'll say, like, I would preface this by saying, if you're in an abusive relationship, physical, and your safety's at risk, just seek help.
Okay.
Call somebody, get a licensed therapist, and seek some help for that. Yeah. But in general, like, just couple dynamics where you feel like, that hurt me when you said that. One of the things that I teach couples to do is similar to what I just did. Like, when somebody says something and you perceive it as harsh, you can say, hey, like, what you just said to me made me feel really small. Like, was that your intention with that statement? You just check in with them.
Yeah.
That really hurt me. That made me feel like I felt I felt like you wanted me to feel like I was wrong. Like, is that what you were trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
I felt that this, was demeaning to me.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant? And to be honest with you, because a lot of this is perception stuff,
Mm-hmm.
when you have a dynamic where a couple is, where the person is not intending on being critical, they just have maybe a booming voice, or they're just really like aggressive and they come across as harsh. They'll go right away. They'll say, no, I didn't mean it that way.
Okay.
I really meant this.
Okay.
All I was trying to say was this. But if they are critical and they are trying to demean you and hurt you, then you'll be met, most likely they'll be a little defensive, and you'll say, look, is there just a different way you could say that to me? Like, what was really your intention? What did you want me to get out of that? So that would be something simple.
Okay.
That's not too risky.
Yes, risky is a key word there. And how do you know? So let's touch back on that. How do you know if you're in an abusive situation, or, because there's emotional, spiritual, physical. I mean, and in my opinion, this is only my opinion, being on the receiving end of both, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. Sometimes it's harder having the emotional and the spiritual connection where people are abusing you, because it's just, it's a difficult thing to go through. I've experienced it, and I've, coached a lot of people through it. But how do you know what's healthy, healthy kind of fighting and things like that, so to speak, or where it's actually abusive at this point?
Right. Well, I think your instinct can tell you if you're being abused or not. When you feel small, when you feel emotionally beat up, when you feel taken advantage of. Like, again, I want to put it out there, like, check with them and be checking your perception of things.
Yeah.
Give them an opportunity to repair it. But a lot of times that's what happens in couples too. They don't repair things. They don't apologize. They just leave open wounds. They go, boom, I'm going to hurt you. And then they don't patch it up. They don't say, oh gosh, that was wrong. So, so that's
okay.
So, and if you have to question if you're being abused, you probably are.
Yeah.
But what I would do is maybe, again, talk to a friend.
Yeah.
Say, if you were in this situation, what do you think would feel like? Or go to a professional, go to a therapist or coach, and really the therapists are there to deal with the emotional stuff. The coaches I see is like goal oriented. The therapist is about processing the deep emotions so that then maybe they can meet their goals.
Yeah.
Right? So I work a lot of times, like, I do coaching with my clients, who are also therapy clients. Like, they kind of get a little bit of both.
Okay.
But a lot of times though, people will have life coaches and they'll see me for the emotional work.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah.
So let's go one more. We've got a couple more minutes left. And so what's been the most challenging in your career?
The challenging, kind of setting real, like, boundaries with people when, like, I knew that if they didn't abide by certain things, at, like, say, drug rehab, that they were going to have to go back to jail. Like, I struggled with kind of that dilemma of me being the gatekeeper and the one. But then I learned through these clients that they take they get it. Yeah. It's their responsibility. Right. I'm not really the gatekeeper. I'm just the person that says, you broke a rule. This is what happens. Yeah. It's not, I don't hold some secret gate to how they live in the community. Or a key to the gate. And so kind of like understanding that they'll survive and I'm going to survive through it.
Yeah.
But difficult. I mean, it's always difficult working with the abused kids. It's always difficult working with someone who just really, really wants to meet a goal, and they won't allow themselves to really go deep emotionally, so they stay stuck. So those are the ones that I like to kind of help get them unstuck. Before we go, I'd love to share with your audience about my podcast.
Yes, please.
So they can find the shows.
Yes, you guys, you have to check it out. So let them know.
Yeah, so that's so my practice is one thing, but I've been hosting a podcast called Coaching Through Chaos for the last year and a half. We have about 50 episodes.
Okay.
And for that one, it's now monthly, and those are interview based. Designed to inspire, motivate, and empower my audience. Okay. So, like, right up your audience's alley. So I'd love for you guys to check it out. And then for the lighter side of things, but still psychological, we have Shrink to Shrink on Film. I
love it.
And that one comes out monthly as well.
Okay.
And what we do is I I team up with another therapist and podcaster, and we take one movie a month, dissect it by scenes, and then we play the scene, and then we kind of psychobabble about the relationship and the psychological aspects of that movie. So, and we try to pick themes. So we pick like Bridesmaids for Valentine's Day, The Accountant for tax season, Christmas movie for Christmas. So we try to kind of keep with whatever holiday or event is happening in the world.
That's fun.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We have fun with it. We're definitely therapists, but we kind of leave like the appropriateness out, out of the room that we would keep in our therapy room. So,
well, you have to have that balance, right?
Yes.
It's a key to life, definitely. Well, you have so many great things going on right now, and I watch your Facebook lives all the time, and you capture me with all the stuff you say, and just even the 6-minute kiss, that was my favorite.
And I love that you say it that 6 seconds.
Or 6 seconds.
I'm going really good makeup
actually, I would go for 6 minutes. Forget 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
See, you guys know where I'm at.
If
So
you're getting 6-minute kisses, you're fine. Like, you don't need my help.
Yeah, right. So that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely going for 6 minutes. I don't know if you guys like that better, but 6 seconds seems too little to me. But deep and passionate, tell me quickly just before we go with the 6-second kiss, what that's about.
So the 6-second kiss is research-based, and it says, if you're in a relationship, you should be having that when you see your partner, whether you see them every day because you live together or you see them every once in a while.
Yeah.
A 6-second kiss gets you past the little nice, hi, how are you doing kind of kiss. And it allows you to connect because kissing connects people, makes you healthier, makes you feel good. So it's really good for enhancing the connection and the bond between the couple.
I love it. And hugging too. And go for 6 minutes, you guys.
Right,
Forget
might as well. 6 seconds. 6 seconds.
That's lame.
So.
Right. Dr. Colleen Mullen, it is such an absolute pleasure to have you on the show today and be here. We're at Bullies East in
Mission Valley.
I know I'll get that. And so thank you so much for coming on today. And we know that we'll have you back. Congratulations to you on all your successes and to the future successes. And you guys check out all the things that she's doing, and we will definitely have you back. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
And she's going back to work now because she's so incredibly busy.
I have more therapy to do today.
But we expect you back here after because the NFL Alumni San Diego chapter meeting's going on at Bullies East. So you definitely have to come back and share that time with us.
Yes, and I hope they all check out coachingthroughchaos.com.
Check it out, guys. Thanks, Dr. Colleen Mullen. Okay, you guys, so she's going to get back to work now, so we're going to bring in our next guest. Bye. Thank you so much. She's amazing, is she not? Amazing. So our next guest will be on, and I think he's going to show us some pretty cool looking watches. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring on Robert. Robert, I don't even want to pronounce your last name because it's Loigo.
It's Loigo.
I know. It's like such a white Canadian girl way of saying it. So Loigo.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you so much for coming on today.
What a great pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we've been we became friends on Facebook probably a good couple of years now.
Through some mutual friends, we got to know each other, and being a personal trainer on the side.
Yes.
And looking up to you as I do.
Thank you.
It's great always to be with you. So.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, we share a lot of the same interests, and we also have a special interest as well. So this product right here, Swap Fuel, and I know it's new to Robert, but even as personal trainers, coaches, trainers, to celebrities, superstars doing it every day. I mean, sometimes we slip up, sometimes we get off track, and sometimes, the weight can slip on, and we make mistakes as well. I found that Swap Fuel has been an amazing product for me as a fat burner and endurance, and also the multivitamin. They have the protein powder, which you guys are going to try next. But Robert, what are you on day 7?
Day 7, we're taking the pre-workout as well as the fat burner.
Yeah.
Diane had, my better half had surgery. 3 knee surgeries. And has put on a little bit of weight. And I myself had a rotator cuff and a bicep tendon tear.
Yep.
So
same thing.
I'm training people, but I'm not training myself.
Yes.
So I let myself go, and I contacted you, and you were kind enough to get that product for us. And we're as happy as can be. It's working really well.
Good, and
Yeah.
I love it, and it gives you energy, but it doesn't make you all wiry and crazy. So shout out to the guys at Swap Fuel.
Yes,
And
definitely.
so the only other briefcase that I would love to see in my life, besides a one full of cash, would be this one. So we're gonna get Robert to actually slide this briefcase up and tell us about these watches that you have.
Well, my bread and butter and what I love to do and what I brought me part of the Alumni Association, the NFL Alumni Association, is Curtis & Co. watches.
Yes.
I was fortunate to be a sponsored athlete by them.
Mm-hmm.
Loved the product and had so many inquiries that I became a sales rep for the company.
Yes, and I can see why. So a watch for everybody. I mean, for celebrities, you name it. I mean, they are absolutely gorgeous.
Right. They come in different sizes.
Okay.
One of the watches that we do have, which is called the Big Time World,
Ooh.
which is this here.
How about you just show them like the daddy of all watches here? I'm just going to call it the daddy.
This is my...
Show them the daddy, Robert.
The NFL guys like this one. You're picking it up, but that's 4 carats of diamonds.
Yeah.
The face on it is 57 millimeters, and what we mean by that is from right to left or left to right, the size of the dial.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a wide variety of different ones.
Yeah.
Different sizes. They come in 42, 50, and 57 millimeters.
Okay.
A lot of the players that have contacted me want them for their wives. So we came up with a smaller size for them.
I want to.
It just happens that your longtime friend on social media has brought you a Curtis & Co. 42 millimeter.
Oh my goodness! Look at this.
So
are you serious?
Yeah, very serious.
Oh, don't make me cry on camera. Thank you so much.
The watches come with a silicone band. They come with a metal band, which I will be giving you as well.
Thank you.
To your warranty.
Thank you.
And they have easy access on and off buttons on them.
Change the bands.
Them.
Okay.
And the nice thing is when we and you do really, really well with this, and we're going to put a diamond bezel on you. And the nice thing is you can just twist them off.
Okay.
Dress it up. Twist it off. And
oh,
you're
right.
Just being that.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's
this
our pleasure.
Baby is coming on the red carpets with me. It's coming everywhere. This is going around the world because we are doing a lot of traveling. It's not just for celebrities, you guys. This is we can dumb it down, as I like to say it. We can dazzle it up. We can do whatever. Celebrities, obviously, guys with big personalities, and
we can customize anything.
Yeah, and females too. Obviously, you guys can see this. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love that it has the different bands, and I love that you can put diamonds on it.
Well, and also want to just note that the NFL, we appreciate what they do for us, and being a former Division I college football player, not making it there. All the NFL alums get 50% off of our watches.
That is insane. Yeah. Do you guys hear that? I know there's a lot of NFL alumni guys on there, and being VP of media and production for the NFL alumni in San Diego, you guys come talk to me, find out. I'll give you Robert's information. These watches are sick. I wish that we could actually pan on to the briefcase because, like I say, it's sexy. If not, I can post up a picture so you guys can see it.
See if we get some lighting, but this is the Big Time in a black color.
Wow.
Okay, so again, our website, beautiful watches. It just doesn't give it the personal that you get to see it with. Yeah. So
that's mine.
That's yours. That's in rose gold. And
beautiful.
Black silicone.
Check that out.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
I know at the Cromwell Hotel the other night in Vegas. A shout out to you guys. Absolutely amazing. Thank you to Beth for hooking us up. You guys are incredible. NFL alumni is always taking great care of us. Thank you guys.
And I want to thank Greg for being letting me be a part of this. We're kind of running this right now as a beta test site.
Yes.
We're going to be involved with a lot of your tournaments and your golf tournaments, a lot of different things. So we're really excited about it.
Shout out to Craig McEwen, president of the NFL alumni, San Diego chapter, and Tailgate for Tots. Just wanted to mention that. Yeah, so Craig's we got a great meeting going on here, and he's been hooked up with a cool watch as well. Thank you for what you do. So tell us again the website so we can get these on everybody's arms. You guys need to get these.
Curtis & Co. watches.com. keyswatches.com, or you can actually email me and I can, work with you.
Okay.
It's robertccwatches@gmail.com.
Okay, Moreland Greenwood, this I know would look great on your arm. I know your wife would agree. So Moreland, 50% off. Are you kidding me? Come on, guys. Chris Hale, all you guys out there, Ron Brown. Ron's going to be here tonight, I believe, or even tomorrow night we're going to get to see him. So I know he'd look great with that bling on his arm as well. Thank you for everything. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you guys want to get in touch with me, you can email me, Facebook Messenger me, Instagram Live message me as well, because I've got all the details, and you're going to be seeing these watches around the world, not only here, but around the world. Thank you, Robert, for everything that you do. Yeah, thanks so much. The party is about to begin soon. We have another special guest. Thank you, Robert, and thank you so much for the present.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
So exciting. Oh my gosh, we have a beautiful lady on the inside and out coming in from our home office, and she is the chapter relations coordinator of the NFL alumni, Miss Chrissy Garrett.
Hello.
Hi. We've had some fun today, lots of meetings and things like that. You're out here making sure, these boys aren't misbehaving, but
exactly.
She's, she's the big boss.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but, I do my best. But, I'm here from the national office to support all the chapters. We've got 34 current chapters around the country, and I make sure that we're getting out the message for the Caring for Kids, which is our biggest mission. That could be anything from doing football camps at schools and supplying sports equipment to raising money for sick children. So there's just a ton of stuff that we do, and our guys do a great job.
They do, and it's so nice to have the support, you coming in and making sure everything's handled well. Such great charities, Caring for Our Own, and just basically, wherever we can be and helping the children is such a great, opportunity for us. And I know Craig McEwen, he does such a great job with the San Diego chapter, and I'm so honored to be a part of that. And we've got a lot of events coming up this year, you guys, and we're going to be raising a lot of money and a lot of presents and things for kids, and just being able to roll a bike off the back of a truck and give it to an underprivileged child is just, it tears me up every time I think about it. So it's
truly a life-changing moment for those kids.
Absolutely.
And such a positive experience when a lot of these children don't have that positive male role model in their life.
And then not only the children, but the parents. I mean, to
Absolutely.
See, because, in being a parent myself, when you're not able to support your child the way you want to, or spoil them, or, just do all these little things for your kids, to be able to have somebody else do that for you. I know that one of the last events that Craig had done, with the troops, it was amazing because there was a little baby there. Basically, this guy wasn't able to, take care of his little one, and they made that happen, and the NFL alumni made that possible.
That's wonderful.
So,
and it's wonderful to hear the stories of how many lives are touched, and just the specialness, not just for the child, but for that family as a whole. One really important factor that we should touch base on is this organization is not just for former NFL players, but we have our associate members, as well as our retired cheerleader members and our retired NFL professionals. But anyone in the community that has a philanthropic heart that wants to get involved can actually be a member of the NFL alumni. We've got great benefits, discounts, and things like that. So you're giving back to the community, but you're actually, you're not just giving back, but, you get a little perk here and there. And,
who doesn't want perks?
Right, exactly. And, most of our supporters love football. So, you get to hear firsthand from, Super Bowl champions and all of this. And, it's, good for networking. It's a great organization. I'm not kidding, started 19 years ago. I volunteered for a golf outing when I was 19 years old. This is my anniversary year.
Don't worry, you're legal in Canada. It's okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so this is such a big part of my life. It always has been, and that's been my number one focus. It never really was about football. I went to school for an interior design, so I wasn't a cheerleader. I wasn't anything like that. But I love this organization. I love what it's about, and the fact that these guys are kind-hearted.
Yes.
And Craig is a prime example of someone
Yeah.
that just has the biggest heart in the world
Yes.
and gives out to the community. So it's a wonderful
Yes.
opportunity and experience. And if you have, a chapter in your hometown, like I said, there's 34 of them across the country.
Yeah.
Find one to get involved and give back.
And how does anyone get involved? How do they find out this information?
Sure. So the easiest way is go to nflalumni.org, and you'll see a blue tab. Click join.
Okay.
And you
That's
put in
easy.
your information. You get like a great little gift, welcome gift. You get a membership card.
Cool.
Guys get a T-shirt. Girls get a great tote bag. So
cool.
Yeah.
You guys join up. That's amazing. Yeah. So we're going to have a great chapter meeting here tonight. It's very exciting. I actually was surprised. We should have actually brought on Mr. McEwen for a couple minutes because, he loves being on camera. Okay. Board shirts, not board shorts, but board shirts, guys. Thank you so much,
Thank
Chrissy.
you.
Thank you, Chrissy Garrett. Okay, so instead of board shorts, we got board shirts. These are so cool. Steve brought these in today, handcrafted. The material's phenomenal. It's a little stretchy, and look at that. But bam, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Actually, the one I wish we had brought. It wasn't Tom Selleck, but it was Craig McEwen. Back in the day, and the best looking cookie duster mustache I've ever seen in my life, and the long hair. Craig, come on in. You know what? These shirts are going to look great.
So long.
But so right. But I'm
right.
not wrong,
But you ain't wrong.
as you would say.
Perfect. Hey, everybody, how you doing out there?
What's up? So what are we doing here tonight?
Well, with the few minutes we got left, thank you for hosting some of the great people that we're having work with us. We're talking about our golf tournament coming up in November on Veterans Day weekend. And we're super excited. Our 2017 campaign and slogan is Tackle TBI with the NFL alumni, which we're super excited to be aligning with great people like best-selling author Dr. Billings, Dr. Bart Billings, right? Invisible Scars. If you haven't read it, go out and get it. If you're military, please hand it to somebody that you may think needs it or could help get use from it. We're working with them in Tri-City, so we're going to try and raise some funds to maybe open up a Tri-City Wellness Center for integrated health and wellness. We might call it headquarters.
Such a genius. I love it.
Right, the Rain Man here, something shiny every day. And our Super Bowl of golf, we've got Chrissy Garrett, who you just saw came in from corporate, our chapter relations, corporate liaison. She is fabulous, getting us in line for that. Derek and the family at Bullies, can't thank you enough, and the whole staff for making this a great, warm home. As always, hey, I am a Charger alumni, and don't hold that against me, but we are now the NFL alumni family of San Diego, our chapter. And so we're into we're going to have our chapter golf meeting, get a game plan together, and then get moving forward together. And then we're going to talk about some of the benefits that Chrissy elaborated on that we have with some of our partnerships that we're also collaborating on, and the possibility of, hold it, wait for it, Craig McEwen crossing the line. Imagine that. Maybe a preview, so keep your eyes and ears out for that one coming up. And our tailgate for tots, which will align with our entire football season program, ending with host, tee it up for the troops, our golf outing, host a hero for the holidays, and to all my men and women, and you know who you are from Camp Pendleton. I love you, I miss you, and I had a great time smoking cigars and having a cold one in the driveway late that night on Christmas Eve. So we appreciate you. We love you. To all the military men and women out there, we salute you, and it's time that we serve you like you served us.
Beautifully said. So we're going to touch more on next time about the show that Craig is going to be coming out with. So this is our show. Thank you guys for being patient for me changing the show, but this was a better time slot for everybody. So I'm hoping that you're enjoying it. Every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's brought to you by the TLC Unleashed Show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life. So again, the NFL alumni, shout out to you guys. And Craig McEwen for having this chapter meeting here tonight, Bullies East. All my special guests tonight, you can find me at www.tlcunleashed.com or www.thepowerofvoices.com. Until next time, bye guys.
Arrivederci, 30 for 30 ESPN, Year of the Scab. Don't miss it, April 27th, Tribeca Film Festival, debut.
Woo.